Hey, Facebook Live. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. I just came in from washing my car and I look like it. So, we have a clean car, though. That's what counts. This is Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, where, of course, I train Black women of faith to become certified life coaches online in one day. As you know, if you've been hanging out with us for a minute, I am navigating 3 different platforms here with our IG Live, our Facebook Live, and now Clubhouse. And so we do a pre chat on Clubhouse. And I do that to make sure I don't forget to go live on Clubhouse. And so I go ahead and pull them up early. And the beauty of it is I get to hear their voices. Hey, Letha, thank you for joining. So tonight we're talking about if you need a degree to become a coach. Now, if you're just hearing me for the first time, you want to definitely make sure your notifications are on and you can come join us, whenever I pop in and out of here on the different platforms. Y'all always get to see the background because my iPad shows everything. So I'm going to close that closet door for you. So over the last few days, I've been doing talks about how, it helps to be educated in the life coaching space. A lot of people think that coaching and counseling are the same thing. IG or Facebook, when you see me look down, I'm looking at my notes. Y'all know I like to write what I'm talking about so I don't leave anything out. And if you have questions, feel free to just raise your hand no matter what platform you're on. And either type it in the comments if you're on video or raise your hand on Clubhouse. So I am putting together what we're calling the Black Fact Sheet. Okay, this is your guide to getting certified. And so over the last few days, when I show up on Clubhouse, IG, and Facebook, I've been looking at the notes that I'm adding to the Black Fact Sheet to make sure that it covers the basics, like what is life coaching and how it's different from counseling. And it's not about telling people what to do, but about asking really good questions based on your own story, based on your experience and the skills you've acquired throughout your life, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you may feel. Because, child, when I just got up off the couch today, I felt every bit of 40, okay? So that is experience, though. Because just yesterday, I was talking to a neighbor who's 55, and she said, yeah, you have to contemplate what your next move going to be the older you get. So you can take that experience that you've been through, those lessons learned, those life skills that can help someone else, and learn the skill of life coaching and how when you ask really, really good questions to someone based on where they are in life and where they say they want to be, you can help that person achieve those goals, set results, and actually accomplish what they set out to accomplish, all because they have you as their coach. But again, it's not about telling people what to do. It's about asking them what they need in the form of resources, asking them about their vision, just like we did in our Clubhouse pre-chat. Are you a coach? Do you have any questions about becoming a coach? Where are you in the world? What city, state you're representing? So all of this matters when it comes to helping your clients show up bigger and better, representing for their city, their state, their country, their industry. And so that's all based on asking really good questions. So I want you guys to get one good question in mind that you want to ask me throughout tonight. I want to chat with you and I want to know. That's all about being a good coach. It starts with learning how to, number one, listen. And if you were on with us last weekend, we had a pajama jammy jam of 2.5 hours. And I actually showed you the difference between hearing and listening. And so, when you hear something, it's just in the background. You can hear somebody talking, but as soon as they say your name, you start listening, okay? You quiet out everything else around you and you focus in on that conversation. And so coaches know how to listen, take their hearing to the next level, listen, ask some really good questions, and help people get to where they want to be based on their own life experience and their own life stories. And so, as I mentioned on our last live, there's an unprecedented expansion in the need for Black women of faith to come on over to this life coaching space. And it's like we've never seen before during our lifetime. We are a chosen generation of leaders, of change agents, of influencers, of what are they calling us? The thinkers, the thought leaders. So the things that we fathom, it comes to pass. We manifest things. Our prayers work. It looks different from our mom and them's generation. However, their prayers, our ancestors, they got us here. And so now we're equipped with all this knowledge and wisdom. We're equipped with these hearts of gold where we just want to help everybody. We want to pour out, pour into, serve. But again, we get to a point where we're like, this would really be good if I could treat myself to some cheesecake based on a coaching session. It would really be fun if I could just go to DSW and buy a new pair of shoes to walk the church in. I mean, not to walk the church, but to walk into the church in. It would be really cool to be able to take a vacation, all because of the money I've made helping and serving people. If I could just add to my savings account or throw some extra in retirement, all because I said yes to my call to coach. I helped people and I allowed them to give back to me in the form of money. Y'all, that's literally what I do. I pay my bills because I am a coach. And so I know in ministry, it's hard for us to get beyond getting a seed offering or an honorarium. But as certified life coaches, when you invest in learning the skill of coaching, it becomes a part of your job, of your career, of something you've been trained to do. And you can literally put any price on it that you want. If you want to take love offerings, more power to you. If you want to do it for free, more power to you. But it's also possible to activate your faith, to activate the scripture that says a man that don't work don't eat. So as coaches, we work. So we deserve to eat. And I mean eat good. I'm a vegetarian, y'all, but I don't look like it. And I love seasoning, okay? So it takes luxury eating and dining experiences for me to satisfy my palate. And all of that is possible because I am a coach. So over at blacklifecoachselfstudy.com, I've taken our one-day life coach certification training that I offer for Black women of faith, and I've stretched it out into 10 months, which also means 10 payments, but it makes it a lot less than you trying to come up with the whole $999 that it usually is in one full payment. So I've stretched it out. You only pay $110 a month, and you get to get your feet wet to see what this industry looks like, because a part of the fact sheet that I'm sharing with you is dealing with, bringing yourself to the point where you're invested in yourself, getting this skill, learning this knowledge, and then making sure that becoming a coach is a good fit for you. And learning with us is where you want to be. So again, blacklifecoachselfstudy.com is where to go find out all about that. And if you have questions, as we talk tonight, I'm happy to answer those questions about joining us. We had 9 coaches join us in the less than 30 days, I think it was. And they are doing phenomenal things. Coach Carla, who got full access to the program, she's like, Dr. AJ, I don't want it just in month by month, give me everything. She has just breezed through this training. She did her, what we call a coaching critique, and I'll share a little bit about that coming up. But she just finished today with another one of our certified life coaches, and she's so excited. She said the session ran long, which meant it was good. And I'm like, well, what did y'all talk about for 2 hours? Because that is really exciting. So today I just wrote out some quick notes about the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, which again is my company, my organization, my purpose, why I show up, do what I do, train Black women of faith so passionately. But it's all me. I am the face, the voice, the founder, the name on the LLC, all the things. Now, I have been training coaches since 2016. I got certified in 2013, and that same company that certified me welcomed me on board as their lead master life coach trainer. And I did that to the end of 2019. And I brought everything online, meaning my energy, my story, my experience, my skills, my knowledge. And I put it in the form of a course for those of you who are not live here in Atlanta with me, who couldn't fly here to be with me for one day like 110 of our coaches did from all over the world, including the Cayman Islands. And we have some coaches. We even got inquiries from Africa. We have some coaches who have experienced our training in Australia, Malaysia, Austria, Vietnam, so many other places that I'm losing track. And that's a great thing. So I put together the training curriculum, and you can find out more about it again at blacklifecoachselfstudy.com. Again, www.blacklifecoachselfstudy.com. And what you'll see is our life coach certification process is a self-study system to where you don't have to worry about flying in. You don't have to worry about social distancing and all the things that we're not supposed to be doing live in person again just yet. I brought it all online and you're learning from the comfort of your home, but you're also not waiting on me to quote unquote fill a class because this training is already recorded. We already have almost 70 women who have gone through this training since this time last year, and they are now certified life coaches. It is possible to do it in a day. I have stretched it out over 10 months. So I'm meeting you where you are, depending on, how you like to learn. And so in the training, I give you what we call the top 3 coaching secrets. And then there are coaching categories that go with those secrets so that you can figure out what type of coach you are, how to add your personality, your skill, even your faith, your level of belief, how you want to serve and help people. All of that goes into one of 3 coaching categories that I'm sure you fall into, because all Black women of faith fall into at least one of these 3. And so I give you 2 books that I wrote. One I recorded, so you have it on audio. For those of you Audible listeners, you need to hear things and then maybe take notes to digest. I learned like that a little bit, and then I also combine it with the visual. So I give you worksheets that include 6 different life coaching activities. So Coach Carla got a chance to experience that when she wrapped up her session with Coach Alexis today. And she saw how to successfully run a life coaching session, because it's not about just coming up with questions off the top of your head. Sometimes you do, based on how good the conversation gets. But for the most part, you are definitely listening to your spirit. But I also guide you through what a session should look like. And so that's all part of the experience over at BlackLifeCoachSelfStudy.com. And then you get to meet some of our coaches as well. We did what I call a Black Lady Life Coach Success Panel. And these are all of our certified life coaches representing Ohio, Louisiana, Texas, the Carolinas, Georgia. And I can't remember. Coach Sheree is going to get me, but Coach Sheree is on there representing as well. And she was one of our clubhousers just a few short months ago. And now she's a certified life coach. So you'll get to meet them on our success panel. That's over at BlackLifeCoachSelfStudy.com. And I also give you my very latest book. It's called The Black Life Coach. And yes, it's available on Amazon. It is a text reference, so like a textbook for Black women of faith who are interested in becoming certified life coaches. I give you that book for free as a part of the Life Coach Self-Study process. And you get to see like the journey of people who choose to get certified and people who just try to wing it, or Google their way, or copy and paste, or guess at this thing. And so they're wondering why they feel like an imposter, or they wonder why they feel so like torn about whether or not they should charge or how much a person should pay them, because they know that they really haven't invested in the skill of becoming a coach. And the Bible says to study to show thyself approved. So it's not right for you to just pick up a title, run with it, have no idea what you're doing, and then trying to charge people with it and wondering why it's not working for them or you. You deserve imposter syndrome, okay? So in the Black Life Coach, it is a #1 new release on Amazon for Black women of faith looking to become that professionally trained, skilled, qualified, certified life coach. I wrote it just for you guys because I know y'all got a lot of questions. Some you'll think of when we're no longer live and you can't get to me right away. Or if you want something to dive into in between the times that we're live here on Facebook or IG or Clubhouse. Hey, Tara on Facebook, how are you? So now is a great time to raise your hand if you're on Clubhouse to come on stage and ask a question about becoming a life coach, or how you can use the skill that you already know you possess with becoming a coach. And I'm happy to chat with you about those, because one of my favorite things, and you'll see how I reference them when you visit the BlackLifeCoachSelfStudy.com site. I took one of my sessions as a Master Life Coach Certification Trainer, and a couple of our coaches who've gone through the certification who let me record their life coaching sessions. And I give those to you as Black Life Coach session demonstrations. And I keep saying Black Life Coach, y'all, because as you know, as Black women, we different. We just hit different. That melanin is a lot different when it comes to helping. We help people different. And it's all good. It's all full of love. And so I teach you how to hone in on that skill. You'll see video testimonials from past coaches who have had this experience with me. You'll also see what your coaching conversation should be like, from like how you lay it out, and how you walk through it. And this is why a degree is not necessary in the form of becoming a certified life coach. You only need that certificate. Because when it comes to a degree, there are several programs out there that are introducing the concept of life coaching through a university. But number one, you're definitely going to pay tens of thousands of dollars for it. Number two, I'm bringing you up, Letha. So let me see. Make sure I did that right. Okay, and then number two, even the life coaching program that I'm enrolled in, you have to take 10 classes, and they're like health and wellness coaching, marriage coaching, financial coaching, leadership coaching, but never just life coaching. And life coaching is something you have to experience, versus just being taught what it is. And so that's what I love about our training in the self-study, the Black Life Coach self-study.com course, because you get your hands dirty as a coach and figure out what your style is. And so, Letha, if you have questions, you can go ahead and unmute. I'll let you ask those, and I'll listen. Go ahead.
Well, looks like it's just you and me.
Hey, girl.
How you doing?
I am awesome.
I love this. I love the fact that you are targeting Black people.
Thank you.
Being a Black woman myself, I'm actually a former pastor's wife, and it's something that I hate to lead with, but it is part of my story.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you actually several questions. Is your program accredited?
So that's what we talk about in the program too. I wish you could have been a part of the Pajama Jammy Jam. So in the life coaching, the life coaching industry, accreditation is non-existent. So I don't care who tells you what. There is no such thing as accreditation in the life coaching industry. So my program is not accredited, and no program out there is. Accreditation only applies to colleges and universities. And to help back this, I reached out to my university where I did get my degree in training and development, and they sent me a copy of their accreditation. So my degree and what I teach you is backed by my university because they're actually a part of the accreditation system for colleges and universities. But life coaching, because we're ungoverned, we're unregulated, we don't have a policing agency, checking in to see if the training is right, or nobody can take your certification or your knowledge. No training is accredited. So I go to town on that when people ask that question because I love it.
And the timing is so perfect because my husband and I had a sit down with our pastor on yesterday. And one of the things that has been burning on my heart, because I've been doing women's ministry for 30 plus years. And so he knows where my heart is concerning that. And so he was asking me if I saw an inroad as far as, my life coaching business and what it could give, to the women in the church and the community.
Yeah.
And I told him it could do a lot, because basically, here's how I got involved in life coaching years ago. Firstly, I saw a lot of women coming in and out of church, and they were not just church hurt, but just from all the stuff that happens in life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I could not understand why or how it is that we can come to a place of power, i.e. the church house, and walk out the same way.
All right now. Don't start nothing on here.
So, like I said, that was my observation for years. And then one day the real reality set in, and I realized that I was one of them. And so I actually stepped away from my 21-year marriage. I had 5 children. My youngest was the last one that was in school at the time. He was in high school. He was a 15-year-old. But, my plan this was my plan, not God's plan, but my plan was to stay until he graduated, and then I was going to leave. I already knew probably 10 years earlier that I was going to leave, but I didn't want to do it, without my kids feeling like they had a whole life experience with their parents.
Wow.
So as time was was ticking on, and while my son was 15 years old, he was like in his freshman or sophomore year of high school, things got really bad between his dad and myself. But the problem and the issue was the charge was given to him. Let's take it back to the garden, okay? The charge was given to him to pastor and not me. And so everything that was falling apart, he was responding to it in a very negative way, and it was impacting not just the family, but it was impacting the ministry, the community, and all of the relationships that we had built up there. And I just felt uncomfortable being a part of it anymore. And not to go into all of my story, but I wrote a book too last August. It's called The Reflections of a Former Pastor's Wife, and all I did was told my story. I didn't write it so that people could look at it and say, well, she gave me steps so that I could get out of my situation. That wasn't why I wrote the book, so that I could, you know what I mean, just to document my own path, and it gives me something to look back at and say, this is how I got over. I know how I got over, and the last chapter actually says, I have no regrets. I believe that's the last line in my book.
All right now.
So anyway, things were falling apart, and I heard the voice of God say, now you can go, because for years I had been asking him. I said, you know this ain't right. I know this ain't right. Why do I have to stay? You know what I mean? So eventually, like I said, he gave me, leave, and I left. And I actually went back to my hometown where I grew up and where people knew me. I needed to be nurtured again.
Right.
So that I could get back to the center and the core of who I was, because I had totally lost myself being that man's wife, because I felt like an accessory to his program. And I don't know if you know, well, I'm pretty sure you know, about narcissists and how they move.
Well, before you go there, did you, is this something that you coach on?
Well, yeah, this is something I deal with now.
Okay, so what,
I actually just started this, so what's your question?
So my question is, how long have you been coaching?
Okay, I started in 2015, and I have actually been doing it as a low-touch type of situation, because I'm also a caregiver to my current spouse.
Mm-hmm. So what is what's your vision as a coach? Like, how do you take everything you've been through, everything you put in the book, what you've overcome? Where do you see that going, or how do you use that now, even low touch, to help, your people get to where they're wanting to go?
Well, I believe God's going to release me to do the big dream. So I'll tell you what the big dream is. And the big dream is to eventually have like a school or an academy or something to teach other people, or women rather specifically, but teach other women how to move through these situations,
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with our own personal self-care, our own mental health, and, just totally looking out for ourselves, because we have been groomed as Black women to give all of ourselves away and to keep nothing.
And so, let's see, 2015, what's that, 6 years? And do you have you only work with like church women or Black women as well?
Right, yes.
Okay. Because, I like how you led with former pastor's wife. We don't hear that a lot, but I don't meet a lot of pastors' wives that are willing to coach based on their story. So that's a very unique, we call it a specialty or a niche. But I also address that in my training for how you can take that and put a price on it and make money to start paying some bills, taking some vacations. Have you had that luxury yet? Not yet? Okay, cool.
I still dream about it, though.
Yeah, because it's possible. You're definitely on the right path to getting the knowledge that you need. So if you have one question you can ask me about meeting that goal, taking that next step to meet that dream vision for your life coaching company, what would your question be?
Well, you know what? I guess I asked my question. What I need to do now is do my research and look at your website and check out your What was that you mentioned earlier when you first addressed? Your self-study program. I'd like to look at that and see what you have there.
Yes. So it's Black Life Coach Self-Study, and that's what we're going to wrap up talking a little bit more about. We got some people on Facebook Live. My friend is here, Cursa. Hey, yerp. Welcome, girl. So yeah, thank you, Letha, for raising your hand and coming on stage on Clubhouse. We got some people on IG Live that's popped in as well. And so yeah, we're gonna wrap up in about 5 minutes. I appreciate the awesome question. Thank you, ma'am. So
glad to meet you.
You too. So thank y'all for those of you who are looking to become a coach and you are in the right place. You're on the journey. You're getting the knowledge that you need, and blacklifecoachselfstudy.com is the place to be for that. Clubhouse throws me off a little bit when all these little things just pop up. I get distracted. So just as a recap, number one, you don't need a college degree to become a life coach. It is a certification. It is a part of a career. A career is usually something that you've been trained in, you went to school for, you got a certificate or some type of specialty trade. And so it's adding to the knowledge that you already have based on, like Letha shared her story. Debbie shared her story early. I share my story of going from homelessness and divorce and the death of my mom all on the same day, to my job downsizing, me dropping out of college. My friend who teased me for taking 15 years to get my degree is on here tonight. Thank you, Yerp. This hat has a story behind it. I'm going to tell you in a minute. You're going to be like, ooh. So I was thrifting yesterday. This is the story. It's not that deep. But there's a show that was filmed here in Atlanta called The Resident, right down the street. It was filmed several seasons. And the lead doctor on there is formerly known as Theo Huxtable, but child, now he is Malcolm Jamal Warner. Do you hear me? Very inspirational for vision boarding, okay? And his name is Dr. A.J. Austin. And I was like, no way, Jesus Christ, you are telling my story. Atlanta, down the street, Theo? Let me get this hat. So I got it. I got two of them. But my neighbor, who is my walking buddy, just snatched the other one out of my car. And I was like, okay, I will share. So I kept this one. It's very inspirational. That is not a coincidence. I know it's not. So I can't wait to meet Malcolm in person. And, Dr. A.J. Austin and Dr. A.J. Austin are in a picture together. And I can tell him that story because I just thought that was amazing. So yeah, the hat came like this. And I was like, okay, wear and tear. But it was brand new. $1.99, girl. So, I'm thrifting. I always find something cool. So I just jumped on with my hat. I just came in from washing the car. And I said, okay, I got to go do my weekly live. So I appreciate y'all for being here and watching me in the hat. And now I have a TV here. So I get to watch my own YouTube videos on a bigger screen. And I'm like, dang. But people have been telling me for a while they watch me on their big screen with surround sound. I was like, y'all, for real? I'm on TV. So I'm trying to act right a little bit. But as you know, that is not promised. Okay. So yeah, just jumping on to talk about why you don't need a degree to become a coach and how some of these trainings that are out here, especially with universities, they're fairly new. They're not really addressing what life coaching is. And so that's why I put together the course over at blacklifecoachselfstudy.com to introduce you to what it's like to really become a coach, see coaching in action, experience it, put a price on it, and start making money off that story so you can get closer to the vision that God has laid on your heart to come be a coach. So thank y'all for being here. That's all I got. I'm about to go watch TV, eat something, because I ain't ate nothing but snacks. And here we are. So I will leave you with this. Remember, there is someone somewhere. They are waiting on you, future Black Life Coach on IG. I see you, Resume Workshop. Hey, girl. I see you, CEO Life Coach Services. Hey, girl. And Clubhouse. Thank y'all for hanging out. Facebook Live, Facebook, as I say. Thank y'all for hanging out. There's someone somewhere waiting on you to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs, because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. And when you impact just one life, I know this too, but this is one life. When you impact it, you impact an entire generation. I'm Dr. A.J. Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, and the home study course over at blacklifecoachselfstudy.com. Meet me there. Matter of fact, beat me there. And I'll see y'all soon. Thank you for hanging out. God bless. Bye, future Black life coaches. And yeah.